guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lua Stardust. Today we are going to be talking about the best way to heal your tattoos, which is my method of using SANIDERM. For those of you who don't already know, I'm an alternative model and my boyfriend Joe is a tattoo artist, so I make a lot of tattoo related content on this channel to kind of give you an inside sneak peek, different perspective, however you want to word it, with the two of us. I did a video a year or so ago all about SANIDERM and how I like to heal my tattoos with this method. I thought that it would be interesting to kind of show you guys what it's like for the several day process of me wearing SANIDERM. So for the original SANIDERM video, I'm gonna link a cue card above if you want to check that out and see it for yourself. That being said, I'll give you a little bit of info about SANIDERM. We're gonna apply it, and then I'm gonna take you through the next few days of me wearing it up until the removal, so you can kind of see everything that goes on with this and when you use it. Now, SANIDERM should always be applied when your skin is clean, so I recommend before you do this to go into your bathroom, get a nice unscented soap. You can use stuff like Dial. I use like the hand pump ones so that I'm not using like a bar on my skin. And I use the unscented soap, I clean the area, and then I pat it dry with a paper towel. I have already done that process, so I'm not going to show that on camera. I know some people who put SANIDERM on the first day but don't take off all of the green soap and have gotten really bad reactions with this, so it's very crucial that your arm is fully clean and dry and that there's nothing else other than like unscented soap used on your arms and water. Alright, so here's just a little clip of me cutting. I'm rounding out the edges and I'm going to show you this little scalloped edge side. That is just like a little spot that I use so it's easier to pull off the white paper backing. You can use whatever part, but I just think that's always easier to remove if you don't have nails. And then I'm just adhering the sticky side to my skin and peeling off the clear side. So this is the result you should have when you're pulling. If it doesn't look like this, then you're probably doing it wrong. I have a little bit of extra SANIDERM kind of sitting at the bottom of my arm, so I'm just trimming this. I would recommend having somebody help you so you don't cut yourself. So it adhered to my skin pretty well. The only thing I would recommend is adding a little bit of extra length to kind of soak up any leakage you'll have for your tattoos. I'm adding just a little square piece to help me cover the piece that I missed before. It's great because it just sticks to itself. So I do have quite a bit of excess pieces that need to be chopped off. I'm going to have Joe do that for me because it's a little bit hard to see in this area and I don't want to slip up and cut my skin. So with that being said, this is the general application. You can do this in two separate parts, so if you want one here and one here to kind of increase mobility, that's fine. This is fine for me. I don't feel like it is taking away from things that I need to do. My tattoo actually goes pretty close to my armpit, so I wanted to make sure that the actual SANIDERM wrap didn't get stuck on my armpit and then make mobility kind of weird, but I mean, she's swollen right now. She's real swollen. The difference between my two arms and how swollen I am. I actually got tattooed yesterday, and the reason I don't put SANIDERM on in the first day is because you fill up with so much fluid that you need to take it off and reapply a bandage. You can do that. That is fine. That is more than okay. I think they actually recommend that, or at least say that is a method you could do. However, I don't like doing that because I hate taking this bandage off. It's a pain in the ass to take off and to put back on. If you were to do it 2 days in a row, I just think that's annoying. If you have any questions about why we keep it on for 5 or 6 days, you can check out the video that I previously did on SANIDERM, and you can also check out their YouTube channel where they have lots of videos on that. Alright, so we're coming on to day 2 of SANIDERM. Not much has really changed. You can kind of see that there's a bit of a wrinkle on there. That's just because I was bending my arm, as you know most people do. I do have a little piece that's kind of lifting up, which I'm showing you there. Basically what I'm going to do is just go in and clean it really quick and then apply another piece like I did at the bottom. Other than that, you can see kind of a texture. This is just what kind of happens after wear. It also happens when you shower with the bandage on, so you'll kind of see that throughout the video, but this is just to give you an idea of what it looks like on day 2. Now we go on to day 3. Really no big changes. This is right after the shower, so you can see that it's got a little bit more bumps, and you can see that my skin is kind of going back to a normal shape because I was really swollen. I'm also getting a little bit of a rash, which you can see more on later. Okay, hi. So it is currently Wednesday. We applied the bandage on Sunday and we got tattooed on Saturday, so let's take a look at how the SANIDERM is looking. So day 2 to day 4 is pretty much the same kind of look to this. Obviously my swelling went down, a little bit of rubbing, and I'm going to show you kind of where I got a small rash on this next clip. So here it is. It's not that serious. I do have a small scar from that now. I don't think it's exactly from the SANIDERM adhesive itself. I've never developed a rash or an issue with it prior, but I think that maybe because I was so swollen, or maybe the new spot was the reason why I got this rash there. But I've never had this problem with any other part of my body, so it's kind of new. But again, I think that's my fault. Alright, so here comes the fun part, the SANIDERM removal. At this point, I am just washing my hands to make sure they are, you know, clean and safe for, I don't know, to touch my tattoo. Obviously, we don't want gross hands. Basically, what we're going to be doing is lifting up the corners. I'm just doing this on the parts of my skin so that when I get to that point, it's a little bit easier to remove. I did start with the sink in this video, and it was really hard for me to kind of show you what was going on, so I will be showing you in the shower later on, but for now, here's just kind of how I started it. So at this point, I'm just kind of lifting up the edges and making it a little bit easier for when I, you know, go in to lift the wrap from my arm and remove it. This is just me pulling it up kind of in the direction of the way my hair grows. This is the recommended way to do it. You don't want to pull up like towards the ceiling. You want to pour it towards your, in my case, my upper arm. So I'm just really lathering on a lot of water and soap because it is an adhesive and it's really, really stuck on there at this point. It's going to make it a lot easier for me. I've seen a lot of people do this dry, and that is something I will never understand because it is very tight and uncomfortable, and sitting there putting it on like this is just no good. So I transferred myself to the shower, as I mentioned. And there's going to be a few clips kind of just like this where it's a little bit harder to see, but that's just because I want to make sure I'm able to get it without, you know, injuring myself or my tattoo during this. So here's a little bit of a better look. I'm just pulling it up again, and the water is hitting the actual wrap itself as well as, you know, my skin, obviously. So I've just been kind of lightly rubbing it on there with soap and water, kind of off camera. You'll probably see some on camera too. And I'm lightly pulling it back without pulling it up, and there it is. Some of it was hard to record, again, bad angles, I'm in a swimsuit. So you're just going to go in with some unscented soap and clean up that tattoo now that it's exposed, and I'm just going to kind of show you what the texture of my skin is like from that SANIDERM wrap. It'll go back to normal soon, but...
Okay, so hi. I had a hard time figuring out how to film that little bit, and it's always easier for me to take it off in the shower. That's how I do all of my SANIDERM removals. Getting a good camera angle and trying to work in the sink was really hard, so I was like, let me just put on my swimsuit and do it in the bath for you guys. So a lot of it was hard to see. Essentially what you're supposed to be doing is pulling down kind of in the way that the hair grows. I will say that I do pull it up from here too and kind of meet them in the middle and then just do it. You're not supposed to pull up. That's really bad for the tattoo. You can remove like some pieces that aren't fully healed. Now, I'm going to show you what my tattoo looks like right now. This is after it dried and my skin has gone pretty much back to normal, because when you wear the SANIDERM wrap, as I've shown the past few days, it has that kind of crease texture from the wrap. So your arm kind of has that for a minute as it needs a few minutes to kind of get back to a normal texture. So at this point, it's pretty normal. At this point in my tattoo, I'm going to be putting a unscented lotion like a Lubriderm or something similar that, again, is unscented. That's like the biggest factor in this portion of your tattoo healing. And I'm just going to apply it until like my tattoo turns completely normal and is just a part of my skin and isn't like peeling still. I really think that the warm water in the shower with soap really helps you remove it. I've seen people do it dry, and that like just, I don't know, it's very uncomfortable to do. I will say it looks a little nerve-wracking when you're doing it for the first time. When I first took off SANIDERM, it was on the backside of my thigh, so I was in the shower upside down with my head between my legs trying to see how I was pulling this and kind of just doing like one of these. So it was really hard to figure out for the first time. I thought this might be kind of helpful for you guys to see for those of you who want to use SANIDERM. Putting the full removal process is like way too much to put on here because it does take a bit of time, and that's because I like to go slow and steady with it. I don't want to rip anything too fast, and if I have like a scab underneath or something and I rip it off, it becomes a whole thing, so I want to take it carefully. So I definitely would recommend checking out SANIDERM. If you have any other questions about removal, I'm gonna link a video from their actual YouTube page on there, so you could check that out. If anything, it really helps get all this part healed, which is amazing for me because sometimes like if I take it off too early, like on day 3 or 4, it might just be in that weird process of peeling, and then I kind of miss all of the benefits of using SANIDERM. So I know a lot of you guys actually came to my channel and have watched more of my tattoo content and just kind of know about my channel because of the SANIDERM video I posted before. So I hope that this is a little bit more beneficial and has a little bit more info for you. Thank you guys so much for checking out today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.